Mike 63 here with another unboxing of a new firearm video. This one, a 24-inch 308 Winchester Model 700 Remington ADL. Let's take a look. And as you see, here she is. First thing you notice is this rifle comes with a scope on it. This scope is never going to see action at all, period. Neither will these mounts. It's the cheap stuff. Maybe would be good on a BB gun or something, but we're not going to get into that. But why did we decide we wanted to get the Remington ADL? Because it's a Remington 700. Pick 308 Winchester because that's a very nice, hard-hitting cartridge. Lots of bullet choices. It's got decent range to it. 308s, according to the United States military, is an effective range of 800 meters. This is a deer hunting rifle, and it does not need to be 800 meters effective for me. It needs to be somewhere 300 and under. So, being a Remington, it comes with a nice owner's manual. It comes with a decent inner pack, and I'll get into a minute. I'll get into why I wanted to pick this up now and how this is different than the first Remington 700 that I ever purchased. The first thing we're going to do is get that scope off and start taking a look at this baby. Now, one thing Remington does is tell you that the X-Mark Pro trigger is part of the world's most accurate production rifles. Now, I'm just guessing that there's people that are going to argue with that, but basically this gives you a little bit overview of the X Pro trigger. Bottom line is they had one for years called the Walker trigger that was a part of a big recall brouhaha, where basically the gun would go off when you turn the safety to the fire position. I can actually vouch for that. That happened to me with a model that I had, and I put a Timney on it. But first things first. Why do they call this an ADL as opposed to some of the other models that have been out there over time, such as the BDL and the CDL? The main reason is there's no floor plate. In other words, the magazine is internal. And so as you load your bullets into the internal magazine, they're spring-loaded. Okay, and then the follower there. When you are done shooting, or more precise way to put it is when you haven't shot, when you have unexpended ammo in your magazine, the way you get it out is by cycling the bolt. Some guys don't like doing that. They would rather just hit a notch on the floor plate and dump it out that way. I've never liked floor plates, never cared for them, so that's not a problem with me in this type of a rifle. But just taking a closer look at this particular rifle here has a 24-inch barrel. As you can see, it's crowned, and that helps protect the grooves at the end of the barrel. I'm not sure about these mounts. I'm going to try them with my original setup, which is I have some mounts which are some decent quality ones, not like the ones I just took off, which are meant specifically for this type of rail, Weaver style rail. And so we're going to give that a try. But just, you know, here's the basics. It's a Remington 700. Now, why did I go out and buy this? Well, I'm always in the market for another bolt action or hunting rifle. Last year, we picked up the pump action Remington in 308. I thought the quality of it was great. These days I'm doing a lot of my 308 shooting is through my Galil Ace, which is a different ball game altogether, but pretty doggone accurate. This trigger is extremely nice. There's no creep whatsoever. And notice here's your safety. No creep whatsoever. And that's it. So, looks to be set to somewhere around 3.5 pounds. And I like that. That's a nice trigger. So you have your basic Remington 700 action. And that's what I bought this for. This, with a scope I'm not going to use, costs less than $400. On sale, $399. Hard to pass up. You buy a Remington 700 in a caliber like a 30-06, like a 270 Winchester, like a 308, these bigger bore calibers, you will not be sorry. Okay, I mentioned the trigger pull. It's a little bit easier to show you when you do it the right way. You can see this is an empty chamber. No creep whatsoever, none. So, about like I like it. Don't want to have to fight the trigger when you're shooting for accuracy. You know, all my hunting shots I've ever taken are standing freehand. Okay. So, continuing to look at this, how do you take the bolt out? I'll show you. Right here, you see right in front of the trigger, there's a little spring-loaded catch. Now, it used to be done a little bit differently, but that's how we do it these days. And then in terms of the bolt itself, there's nothing fancy here. Okay. It is not a fluted bolt. It's a straight Remington 700 bolt. It's forged. And it's a proven design. The United States military has used some version of this action for a long time. So I can change this stock. I doubt if I will, not for hunting. I can change the stock. I can change the trigger. I doubt if I will because it's so nice. There's a lot of things you can do, but what you have is the 700, Remington 700 action. So it doesn't matter if it's an SPS, a CDL, an ADL, or whatever you want to call it. It's a nice action, and these guns are very nice for that reason. When you see Remington Model 700, you know what you're getting in terms of that. Now, the question marks on this firearm are going to, again, be these factory mounts. What I'm going to do is make sure that they're properly tightened, okay? And, you know, how accurate's the barrel? Well, I've got a couple newer production Remington barrels. I've got about a 4.5-year-old Remington 783, which has an incredibly accurate barrel. Been very pleased with that. And the Remington 760 pump action that I purchased last year, the Remington 7600, I should say, that particular barrel, for what it was, which was a pump action gun, which isn't nearly as solidly put together as the 700, it was also a very accurate firearm. So across the board, I have good expectations with this, but that's, you know, sighting this in and shooting this at closer distances is going to be the next step. What's there to like about this? Okay, well, first of all, this is very lightweight. Okay, it's a lightweight design. The barrel is in the case of a hunting rifle is not going to be your big, thick, heavy bull barrel that you'll see some guys show up at the range with. This is not a bench gun. This is a gun that's meant for one thing and one thing only, and that's for my uses, which is taking it out and hunting mule deer, which is what I do with this. So the steps that we're going to take and show you over the next course of videos are going to be sighting this in. I expect Haven't decided yet, but I expect that I'm going to give this some kind of a paint job. Probably a desert tan kind of camo thing, just because. So we'll show you how we're going to do that, as well as some of the other things that are going to be involved. We're going to take you step by step with this. It's a Remington 700 ADL. It's a chambered in .308 Winchester. And good chance that for those of you that are into hunting rifles, that are into Remington, you're going to enjoy these videos. Chances are, too, if you're a big Savage fan and you think everything about Remington sucks, you probably won't watch anymore anyway. But I'll give you a little bit of a close-up view with the camera to wrap up this unboxing video. As you can see, these barrels are still produced in Ilion, New York. Here's something your granddaddy's rifle doesn't have on it: a three-dimensional barcode. You see here on both back in the palm area as well as on the foregrip, you've got textured surface, which is helpful when you have wet weather. You've got some sling mounts, which are metal, and they screw in. A nice butt pad on the back. And the barrel itself. Now you can see here this finish is already a little bit, I don't want to say it's been compromised, but marked up a little bit just from sitting in this box for whatever period of time. But it's American-made classic, that's for sure. Side by side with, depending on your view, its little brother or its first cousin. Up top is the Remington 783. I've reviewed this rifle fairly extensively. And you can see I've got a camo type pattern on it. The dog is very interested. Now that's a 22-inch barrel versus 24 with this Remington 700. So a little bit longer barrel. They both have a bit of a recessed crown, more pronounced here on the 700. But I mentioned doing some kind of either a camo pattern or just painting it. I like this tan color, is maybe making this entire rifle that tan color with maybe some very light features elsewhere. Like I said, I can show you how that's done. But just in terms of looking at the rifles, you've got a deeper receiver. The 783 has a plastic handguard, a removable magazine. This particular handguard is metal, internal magazine. But just in terms of overall, a little bit sleeker profile with the 700. Not a lot, but taking a closer look at this. The only thing really left to do at this point is to get a scope mounted on this rifle and take it out and shoot it. I can't wait. Hopefully something that we're going to be able to do in the next couple days. And if we do, of course, we're going to tell you all about it. We'll show you some target results and be happy to give our opinions. The real test is going to be how she does deer hunting this fall, and I can't wait for that as always. Thanks again for watching. This is Dr. Drake 63. Until next time, see ya.